Hey, today I thought I'd do something a little different. Yesterday I went ahead and picked up the Damon X Machina Split Pad Pro. I have had numerous hand cramps with the original Joy Cons. I thought that was just because I've been gaming for so long. I thought it was just like residual damage or something. It ended up just being that everybody gets cramps with them, but the length of time you can play with the Joy Cons before getting cramps obviously varies from person to person. Lately, for me, it's been after about an hour or two, I get pretty bad cramps for the rest of the day until I wake up and get a good night rest. So I figured this would be useful for me because, as you can see here, I kitty sit for a part-time job, and I spend a lot of time sitting on the couch watching over them and stuff. So for me, this actually suits my needs quite well. Here they are hooked up to the console itself. As you can see, a much larger, more responsive analog stick, a real D-pad, and much larger buttons as well. Now, the trigger buttons feel a little bit flimsy. They don't feel as rough as they should. They don't feel as sturdy as they should. But I haven't really noticed an issue. I read a lot of reviews about this before I bought it, and people were acting like it was the worst thing ever. It doesn't feel much worse than like a really high quality third-party controller like this, which is what I'll be getting into next. So it also has a back button, kind of like the Vita does with the back touchpad. I haven't figured out how to assign that yet. I can imagine it would be useful for like fighting games. You could probably macro like Super Dash and Dragon Ball Fighters, or like tagging or something. DMC3 could probably put like a style switch on there or something. And there's also a turbo feature. I don't really see the point of that anymore. Feels like from back when I was a kid when you used to need things like that. But now, most games don't really feature that much mashing. Overall, it feels really good. It does feel light. It feels kind of light and sturdy at the same time. Like, it's got enough weight on it. It definitely does add a little bit of weight to the overall Switch console, as you can see. But it does feel quite comfortable. I played a little bit of Dragon Ball. I played some One Figure Death Punch 2. I played some DMC3 as well. And they all felt a lot better on this versus the regular Joy-Cons. As you can see, I have a D-pad Joy-Con, but these things cause me really bad cramps. I think the Joy-Cons are the worst controllers Nintendo has ever put out. Just in terms of like how they're not ergonomic, how often they cause cramps, and how easily they break. They just can't withstand punishment. I have a friend who got a Switch late last year, and they already have drifting on the left Joy-Con. It's barely been like 6 or 7 months since they got it, and it's already happening. I think that's a pretty good example of how bad they are. The price of this is $50. Hi, Lucy. Hi, buddy. So, it's not much more expensive than regular Joy-Cons. However, it can only be used in handheld mode. It also doesn't have the HD rumble or the thing that lets you link the amiibos. But I don't think anybody who would be interested in one of these in the first place cares about any of those features. So, if you're just looking for something for handheld mode, if you're like me, your part-time job involves being away from home, playing the Switch in portable mode, or, you commute via train or bus or shuttle or something. I can't recommend this enough. However, if you're looking for something to use at home and you don't want to use the Pro Controller, I've heard numerous reports about how the Pro Controller doesn't really work that well with the D-pad because it's not a real D-pad. It's kind of like this right here. It's kind of just 4 directional buttons. I can't recommend the 8bitdo SN30 Pro Plus more than I already have. I use this for pretty much everything right now besides PS4. It is not compatible with PS4, but it does support Android, it supports Bluetooth, it supports Switch, and a native X input. So even if you don't have a Bluetooth dongle on your PC, you could actually just hook it up. The way it works is the face buttons correspond to a different mode. Like, if you watch my streams, sometimes I open up with like a PC game. I'll play like Honkai Impact or Orochi or DMC or something, and then I'll switch to the Switch version, or switch to the Switch capture. So when I start up in PC mode, I have to hold X and then push start. What that does is it puts the controller in X input mode. I do not have a Bluetooth dongle or any Bluetooth functionality in my computer at all right now. So what I do is I put in that command, and then I just hook up a Type-C USB cable, and it works fine. Likewise, you hold start to turn the controller off, and then I hold Y and start, and that puts it in switch mode. So switching controllers and stuff, when I went from like PC to Switch or vice versa on my streams, it used to take a lot longer. Now it takes like under a minute. I can pretty much just switch scenes, plug in the capture card, and then just turn off the controller and put it in the corresponding mode I want to switch to, and that's all I have to do. The D-pad is very, very good. If you play anything resembling a fighting game or 2D platformers like I do, this is pretty much an all-purpose controller. All the buttons feel really good. Also, the triggers are pretty nice as well. They can be programmed. You can also change the button arrangement as well. There's also a built-in, not built-in, but there's an included app you can get for it that will allow you to calibrate the controllers and configure everything. I can't recommend this controller enough. I know I've heard this one is pretty durable. I have dropped it a few times. One of the R2 button actually fell off in my backpack when my friend and I went out a couple months ago, and I just popped it back on and hasn't been a problem since. I know that regardless of how much durability this thing has, I know that as soon as it starts to go, I'm just going to buy another one. What's nice about it as well is it works wirelessly too, so you don't need to hook up anything. I actually have... I'm not going to hook it up right now because I only have one hand, but I have a Lamical switch stand in here. So when I have access to a table, I probably won't be using the Split Pad Pro. It'll mostly be for like when I don't have access. Like when I'm sitting in a car or something, I won't have access to a table to hook this up. The Split Pad Pro is going to be what I'm using then. But if I have access to a table, like for instance, I'm going on vacation to Fanime in about 2 months, 2.5, 3 months, actually about 3 months. So I'll have access to a table there. They have tables on the train if I don't carpool with my friend. So in that case, what I would do is I would put this on the stand. I would put the regular Joy-Cons on to kind of make sure the stand doesn't fall over. And then I would just hook this up wirelessly. So this is like pretty much my permanent controller solution for all platforms but the PS4 now. I pretty much just use these two. Excluding my stick as well, I do have a PS4 to Switch stick adapter or controller adapter in here, so when I go to events and stuff, I can just pop my stick in as well. Overall, it'll cost you probably about $100 for both of these, but if you're a hardcore Switch user and you don't run it in dock mode that much, I can't recommend the Split Pad Pro enough. Likewise, if you play a lot at home and you want an all-purpose controller that you can use on the Switch and PC, and your phone, if mobile gaming is your thing, then I can't recommend this enough either. So the Split Pad Pro, unfortunately, is very hard to find in stores. I looked all over the place. As you can see, Buddy's checking it out right now. I looked all over the place. Only my local retro store had a copy of it, so I went ahead and bought it yesterday. Amazon sells them. If you don't do business with Amazon or whatever, or you don't have Prime, you may have to bite the bullet and just do it because it doesn't seem like they're getting very many in stores. If you do see one, I recommend buying it right away. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.